Hey guys, welcome back to yet another video. Today, I'm back out here to do a little bit more catfish jugging, and I'm going to be trying out these alewives as well as these new jugs. The wind is coming from both the north and the west, and it's continuously changing, so I'm going to do a few sets east and a few sets south, and that way they'll be able to come through and push along into these areas going northwards or westwards before they hit these trees, so I'm not continuously having to run and get them out of the trees and reset them. As mentioned, I'm using these very small alewife today, or at least that's what I call them. They are the perfect size just to throw on a jug hole. You don't have to do any cutting, you don't have to make a mess. All I did was take my knife, I put a few slits through the fish, and that's just going to help some of those oils get out, things of that nature. Maybe help the smell get out a little bit. Have my 4/0 hook, and I'm just going to go through the top, nothing fancy, all the way through. Make sure that barb is clear, as always. Get my jug down. And this one's a tattletale jug, so make sure my rebar is set, lay it flat, and go on down the line and set a few more. Compared to the mullet I used on last trip, I did have good luck with the mullet. I ended up catching a couple of fish. These alewife, though, are just a lot easier to deal with. They're not nearly as much of a mess. Those mullet are by far one of the nastiest baits I have ever used out here. Just went through, made a few cuts with the knife. Nice, quick and simple 4/0 hook all the way through, just going through the top. That's on. This is a really good bait if you're by yourself because it's, again, very easy to work with. Doesn't take a whole lot of time and allows you to set out more jugs than if you do have to cut up larger shad or mullet, things of that nature. But it's all about whether they'll catch fish or not, and that's what we'll find out today. Finally, this last jug. It's different from all the others. It has a much longer noodle plus a lot more line, so it'll let me know that this is the end of this particular string, and it'll let me verify just if I don't pick up all my jugs, did anything drift past it, or do I need to go back and look? But nothing should drift past this final one unless there's a fish on. And that one's over. Now time to go find another area. This one is set on a gradual slope, so it's going anywhere from like 6 down to about 13 feet. I want to head back into a cove where I caught a pretty good catfish last time I was out here. And I want to set a couple of orange ones through there, and then I'll go find another spot down this area to set another set out as well. I'm back out here on my second spot, and it's approximately 4 feet deep, so it's a lot more shallow. Now, the water temp back here is also a little bit higher. It's about 76 degrees, whereas out in the main lake, it was down to 73 at some points. Whether that'll make a difference or not, I'm not entirely sure. All I know is that a couple weeks ago, I caught a pretty decent cat back here. Might as well set a few jugs, see if there's any more. It's all the way up to about 3 feet here now. It's pretty darn shallow, but you never know. So far, I'm not seeing anything on sonar. Maybe the occasional fish or two, but a little bit difficult as well. Last one of these orange ones, once again, marked so I can easily tell that it is the last jug. Now to go set these new ones out. Well, I'm in the final area. It is 15 feet deep back here on the sonar. I'm getting a few signs of life. So I'm going to try out my new small jugs that fit perfectly inside the smelt crate. Do a line of 9 of them. Come back and check them in a bit. All right, size 4 circle hook. That bait is on. And the first one is in the water. We'll see how it does. All right, and the last jug. I forgot to mark these new ones so I knew which one was the last one. So I found a rubber band here, and I'm just gonna put it over the top. And hopefully this will just stay in place. Yep. So I know when I find this one with the yellow rubber band at the top, that's the end of this set. let's get it baited real quick. Sat in the water. We'll let them sit here for a little bit. Now, we'll say this new design, it certainly made it a lot easier. I didn't have nearly as much to deal with as far as mess or cleanup or hooks in the way. Grabbed them out of my milk crate, threw them right here, got them undone. Really nice to use, plus I'm able to fit more of them into a smaller space. So really excited if these things really do end up working out. Well, I've run into a bit of a snag. I just checked 10 of these jug lines and not one of them still had the bait on. I think that may be with the way I'm hooking the bait, which is just straight through the body. Instead, what I'm going to do, and I'll show you an example, the head is by far the strongest part. So I'm going to go through the head and then out through the mouth. It doesn't look quite as natural, but that's a lot tougher of an area, so hopefully it'll allow the bait to stay on. I want to rebait every one of these jugs that the bait's fallen off, and then give this another shot and see if that is the issue. After what feels like is a pretty good amount of time, I seem to have one fish on. Check this jug up. Let's take it underwater. Must be a decent sized fish at least. Find out here in just a second. This is going to be on the brand new ones. Yep, this is my yellow rubber band one as well, so it's the last one, and there is something on this. Doesn't feel like a blue though. My motor is off. Let's see, a gaff top like last time. This one a bit larger in size. There we go. All right, well, that gets the skunk out of the boat at least. He's pretty feisty. Just like last time, usually just don't keep gaff top, personal preference, but I'll get this hook out, give y'all a better look at him, and we'll let him go. Well, there's a little bit better look at this guy. Still has that hook in there. I tried to fight that hook out, but it is just stuck. It'll rust out in a very short period of time, so we're just gonna let him go. He's gonna swim off just fine. Well, things seem to be picking up here a little bit. I just saw my second jug come up right as I was passing it. Must be a decent fish on. It's definitely pulling it underwater, but it's coming up immediately afterwards. These foam jugs at 10 inches, they're pretty good size. They might take them underwater for a second, but other than that, they're going to have to come up with them. They just can't fight that buoyancy for too long. I'm gonna be chasing this one though. Oh, right behind me. Go. There's a little something tugging on here. Another gaff top. Huh. I really thought I was going to see more blues. Maybe the gaff top are more prevalent in this part of the system than what I was expecting. But again, not skunked. Get him up here. About the same size as the other. These are all pretty decent sized gaff top, at least. So it's something. Let's go ahead and get this one unhooked as well and another look at it. All right, another gaff top going back in the water. Again, maybe we'll get lucky and get a blue eventually, but these gaff top are what we seem to be catching. And he's gonna kick right on back down just like the last one. All right, we have another one here, and it looks like it's bouncing just enough to suggest something is on it. Yeah, there is. Something relatively small, but looks like we do have our first eating catfish for today. Let me get this jug in. Take this band off. And not massive, but an eater. Channel catfish. How about that? Probably can't see in the shade. Let me get out here where I have a little bit more sunlight, easier to see. All right, this lighting's a bit better. But there we go, a channel cat. Decent size, definitely get 2 fillets off him. About the size you would normally see at a restaurant, so he'll go in the ice chest and we'll take him home. But 3 catfish now. Looks like it's finally picking up a little bit. 2 on the new jugs and 1 on the tailtails. I don't think there's going to be much difference as far as how many fish you catch between the 2. I think it's more of just the smaller ones are going to be easier to store. Looks like I had a catfish drag me into a tree. I would assume with the way this particular jug is sitting that's the only way it would have gotten to be like this. You'll see here in a second. Let me see if I can pull up on it and see if he might still be on. Watch from this side of the boat. Oh, yeah, there's something on here. Let's get him out of all this brush. There we have it. A nice blue cat. That's what I've been looking for. Something about that size. And once again, get out of these bushes, get into some better light. Now this is a perfect eater size blue catfish here. Get them up. So we have a gaff top, a blue catfish, and a channel catfish. If I get a flathead, I will have the trifecta actually the quadfecta for the day. And he is annoyed. You can hear how loud he is. He is not happy whatsoever. Unfortunately, though, he doesn't have a reason to be, because he's going to be going home. Well, hopefully you're able to hear that. That's what I heard in the distance, and I thought that's a really weird sounding mud motor. Sure enough, it's a turboprop aircraft apparently. And it just took off. May not be able to see him from this distance, but talked to the guy. He's completely fine. Just came out here for the afternoon to hang out and use his aircraft. So cool stuff. He's good. I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of these jugs. Well, there's another jug right here, and it looks like it's bobbing just a little bit, so there might be something on. Not very big, if I had to guess. This is where I caught the channel catfish earlier, right along this tree line. Yep, something small. Shut that engine off. Well, now we have the light where we need it. Yep, another small channel cat, kind of like what we saw earlier against that bank. But hey, that's 5 fish total today, 3 in the ice chest. He'll have another couple good fillets on him. And I think that's all of the green ones, and I just need to go get the larger orange ones and then the smaller orange ones, and we will have picked up everything. Well, to keep a long story short, I really did like using those alewives today. They were an easy bait. They did come off a little too easy, although there was also some fish pecking at it. So it may be coming off, may have been fish pecking at it. I'm not 100% certain, but once I started hooking them in the head for whatever reason, I got a lot of bites all of a sudden. Everything worked out well. Ended up catching 5 or 6 different catfish. So that might be my new go-to bait in the future. We'll have to see. I'm still going to try a couple more out. But guys, if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to share, like, subscribe for more, and thanks for watching.